Hey, how y'all doing? I typically don't post videos, anything Georgia related, really. Never really post videos in general. But just wanted to talk about a couple things that I think need to be talked about. So, first of all, I mean, we're 11-1. Great year. We've only been 11-1 three times. I think in program history, I'm not sure on the details on that. I think we're 11-1 for the third time, and second or third time in my lifetime at least. And this is probably the best Georgia team that I've seen in my lifetime, regardless of the outcome. What happens in the SEC championship game next week, or if we get into the playoff, or if we don't get into the playoff. I honestly think this is probably the best Georgia team I've ever seen in my 27 years. I don't know if some of y'all agree with that or not, but it's been a phenomenal season. Outside of the Auburn game, we've really been flawless. I mean, every single game was a blowout except for Notre Dame. We beat everybody that we were supposed to beat, and we beat them convincingly. We just about covered the spread on every single game, and really, I was very impressed with this season. Coming in, I did not think that we would be an 11-1 team, possibly looking at the playoff. I didn't. But I'm ecstatic and looking forward to. Looks like we might have an Auburn rematch next week. Auburn is giving Alabama all they can handle. Not sure if that's going to hold up or not, but we'll see. I'd like to get that rematch, especially being as the game is in Atlanta. Another thing, I just can't, and I like Jake Fromm. I was in the military and I was stationed in Warner Robins, and I saw Jake Fromm play for the Little League World Series team when I was stationed down there. I actually got down there in 2011, right when they won the World Series. But, I just can't understand how Jacob Eason comes in, and he's the number 2 or number 3 quarterback in the nation recruited. He comes in and he breaks almost every passing record for true freshman quarterbacks at the University of Georgia. We did not lose any games because of him last season. He gets hurt in the first week against App State. It's unfortunate. Next man up. We figured he was going to miss a couple games. And Jake Fromm came in and he impressed everybody, and he took the reins of the starting job. And I think he's a great quarterback, and I think he's the quarterback for the foreseeable future, even with Fields coming in next year. But what I can't wrap my head around is you put Eason in the game with 8 minutes left. We're up 38-7, 8 minutes left in the game. You put Jacob Eason in, and you do not let him throw a single pass. Not a single pass. We had 2 or 3 third downs on that final drive that took 8 minutes, and y'all didn't let him throw a single pass. I can't wrap my head around why. I mean, it's almost obvious that the university is pushing Jacob Eason to transfer. And I'm not a football expert. I'm not a coach, and I'm not going to pretend to act like I know things that other people don't. But why not give the kid a shot? I'm not saying he needs to have his job back, but not letting him throw when we're up by 31 points on third down, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. I feel terrible for Jacob Eason. I do think he's going to transfer. I don't blame him at all. I don't know where he's going to go. I hear a lot of rumors of Michigan, which I actually live up in Michigan, and a lot of fans up here would definitely welcome that, because that's a position that they've struggled with for a long time. And I think Jacob Eason would do very well here. And I'm not trying to get in, back into the week. We had a 10-week long, and it's still going on, argument about Jake Fromm and Jacob Eason. And, and that's not the argument that I'm trying to have. Jake Fromm is clearly our starter. I think he's not necessarily a better quarterback, but he has intangibles that Jacob Eason doesn't have. He's got leadership qualities that I don't know that Jacob Eason has. He can run the ball. He executes the run pass option great. It's really executed pretty well, especially for a true freshman. So that's not the argument that I'm trying to have here. I just can't wrap my head around how many games that we've had this year where Eason's came in the fourth quarter with 8-10 minutes left in the game, and we're just not letting him throw. This isn't the first time it's happened. This is just another example of, hey, we're going to let Jacob Eason come in and hand the ball off to our fifth-string running back, 12 times to close the game out. And I respect Kirby for, not running up the score, I guess. Don't really understand that part either, though. After how disrespectful Georgia Tech was last year, at Sanford Stadium after they won, tearing up our hedges and everything. I don't really understand why you wouldn't step on their throats. We easily could have won that game by 40-plus points. We could have put 50 points on the board pretty easily, I think. So I don't really understand that aspect either. I think the committee looks at those, scores of the games, and that plays a large role as to, not necessarily getting into the top four, but what bowl you play in is your resume and how bad you're beating these bad teams. And we beat them by 31. I'm not saying that if we beat them by, 55, that it's going to, make a huge difference. But I don't really understand why we're taking our foot off the gas with 9-10 minutes left in the fourth quarter of that game. Sorry if you see me looking away. I'm watching this Alabama-Auburn game, and I don't really have much more to talk about. I don't do these videos very often, so be easy on me if there's some criticisms. I know a lot of people when they make videos, they say the or word a lot, and they don't really realize it. So if I did that, I do apologize. It's not something that you normally do. I mean, making videos isn't normal for a lot of people, so it is kind of a nervous habit. But I appreciate you watching. Leave any comments below. Tell me what you think.